What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoundHound. Give you a quick overview of some of the current data points, what shorts have been doing, as well why the stock is somewhat in danger. So I'm going to go over all that, but first make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So on Friday, it did go down 7.31%. Even after hours on Friday, which is normally quiet, it did go down a further 9.01%. No news, no SEC filings to really justify that, and I did double check even if Seeking Alpha maybe wasn't really up to date or whatever. I did double check on the SEC website and there's been absolutely nothing. But of course on Friday there was a lot of blood in the market. Even the fear and greed index right now is at 31, so people's appetite for risk just isn't there. And when it comes down to a momentum play, you kind of need the massive opposite. You need it to be in extreme greed, and this is when SoundHound last ran up. I think it was at like 80, 81, something like that. So right now, polar opposite of what technically is needed. And like I've indicated over the last couple of videos, it was going to continue to trend down until either there's a good piece of news on a larger scale, or essentially if the company does put out a good piece of news. And as of late, there's been absolutely nothing coming out from the company, not even a whisper. And then of course, coming from a larger standpoint, you have the feds fucking around, pardon my French, kind of with the broader market, just saying, you know what, we're going to look at the data from now going forward, and you know what, if it actually justifies to raise rates, we're going to do that. I don't understand what logical person would say that and anticipate like the market to be fine with that. So definitely there's a lot of fear in the market, and plus even Nvidia itself did go down 10%, as you can kind of see right here, just pulling this up. So it went down a even 10%. So just the optimism associated to the market is going down. Shorts are taking advantage of that. So there is all-time high short interest right now of 18.83%. 50.41 million shares overall are being shorted. Shorts, surprisingly though, given everything that did happen on Friday, they returned 111,000 shares. Utilization is 93.87 and cost of borrow average is 16.46%. So as I've said in the past, SoundHound kind of is a squeeze play, and some people might disagree with me on that, but the fundamentals right here do really signal that it is a squeeze play. The only thing it's really missed out on is a good catalyst, or a surprise catalyst in fact, to cause it to go up. So that's something that SoundHound once again has just been crapping the bed on, just they haven't been putting out any news. But when it comes down to SoundHound, like I said, it did go down a good 9.01% even after hours, after getting slaughtered. And so there was a couple of things that you need to be wary of. And so right now, looking on the technicals, I've pointed this out time and time again. So it did close at 355 on Friday. That's not even counting the after hours activity. So with it closing at 355, it is now trading between this S3 and this S2. So this 358 was a very strong pivot for SoundHound, and I'm looking at the 1-day chart. So this is all very strong support and resistance points. Even looking at the 4-hour, which is kind of minor, but still 355 was a very strong support that you wanted to watch for it to hold. So in fact, SoundHound on Friday did break below essentially both very strong support levels. And even on a lot of my videos, I think for the last week, probably 2 weeks, a little bit longer than that, I have been saying that it is just going to trade within this range for the foreseeable future. So the 50 and 100-day moving average, up until either there was going to be a good piece of news coming out from SoundHound propelling it higher, or just the broader market was going to continue just to take it down. And ultimately, this is what happened. So on Friday, it did break below this 100-day moving average. So essentially, you are looking more in a free fall. So very scary scenario with SoundHound based on the technicals. And even on Friday, like I said, just that activity is very, very abnormal. And I have been monitoring to see what big money has been doing. And like I said, with a momentum play, you need capital to be coming in and buying the stock itself. But surprisingly, based on the bid, the ask, and the selling price, anything that does show a bid is a sell. So look at all the activity that did happen after hours. So these three right here, even on the dark pool, there was a lot of selling. for whatever reason. I'm not really sure. I don't know if it is linked to the technicals, because with SoundHound breaking below that very key pivot, maybe a lot of the algorithmic trading is showing and kind of throwing up red flags, which could really prompt and escalate the downtrend. So it is a very crappy scenario, because SoundHound, like I said, did have a lot of good potential. Even looking on the technicals itself, like this could have easily continued to go up, but during this time frame, as it was going up, insiders were selling, even though it wasn't substantial amounts. I think it was more so to do with the principle. So just insiders selling up, it just was a very bad scenario. And then plus right here, this prospectus that did come out recently, right here on April the 9th, it goes to show that the underlying company just isn't flourishing and kind of doesn't really justify for it to be higher. So again, it's just a very sad scenario. So let me know your thoughts on SoundHound. Definitely, even though this video is somewhat bearish and signaling that it could go down probably to roughly maybe the 150 mark, based on the technicals at least. But essentially, if the company does put out a good piece of news in the foreseeable future, then definitely it could kind of recover. And of course, I just wanted to point this out. So as you can kind of see, based on some of the transactions and sizes of the transactions over, I guess, Friday after hours, just wanted to draw your attention to the current ownership of SoundHound. So looking at SoundHound, you do have a lot of the big players such as Vanguard, BlackRock. You had SoftBank right here as well with 1.07 million. SoftBank has actually been losing a ton of money in the broader market. So they've actually been selling a lot of their positions across the board to mitigate a lot of risk. So in my opinion, especially that Friday after hours activity, I don't mean to say it's SoftBank, but if I was to kind of place a bet, I think it would be SoftBank, as they probably were wanting to sell out of their AI plays and just, like I said, are mitigating risk. But who knows? We'll just have to wait and see what does come out through various forums and whatever else. So let me know your thoughts on SoundHound. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? What is your overall thoughts with SoundHound as well? Why do you think that shorts did return about 111,000 shares, which was kind of random considering that there was a massive amount of blood in the market? Just briefly looking at options, I guess I kind of forgot to bring that up, but $1.6 million in calls, 2.96 million in puts. Sentiment wise, 51% of all the options being done on Friday were bullish. So shorts returning is somewhat bullish. At the same time, you have this data right here, which is again somewhat bullish, but just you have insiders selling and just the stock price going down. So a little bit conflicting. So you guys do with all this what you will, but in my opinion, I feel without a piece of news coming from SoundHound, it is going to continue to trend down. So that's just my own opinion. Of course, things could change depending on news and whatever. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. One final thing, make sure you guys definitely take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it, and they give you 7 fractional shares of the 𝗪𝗧𝗛. So if you want some free shares, take advantage of this promo. It is a no-brainer. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.